Wow, Drew, can I just say it means so much that you use the word popular to describe my podcast? Um, who here has been to a party since 2020? Wow, and you know what's crazy? There's a question I never thought I'd ask, and then that was what I expected as an answer. I went to my first party in the last year and a half recently, and I realized I think I forgot how to socialize, and because I think part of socializing is having things to talk about that you did. For example, Drew made a very good point. I too am in a relationship with my fiance, and really the whole relationship the last year and a half has revolved around television and film. That's really it, and nothing else happens unless you get engaged. Thank you, I did get engaged. Thank you very much. We did get engaged 12 months ago, but still, you're new people that I haven't met, so I can tell you, so that's exciting. Socializing is difficult. Small talk, I don't know, I feel like small talk feels very meaningless, like that, if small talk is meaningless, but now it's super meaningless. So here's my party trick for everyone. If everyone here feels like all they can, like, if somebody says, what have you been up to? I think the reality is, what have you been up to is watched Love Island, perhaps, smoked a lot of marijuana, drank a lot of cocktails, maybe had a mental breakdown. And nobody wants to hear that, okay? Because they've all been doing the same shit for a year and a half. So here's what my fiance and I do. At a certain point during the pandemic, I think we ran out of things to talk about because we didn't go anywhere or do anything. So we watched a lot of TV, and then we just kind of talked about the TV as if it was happening to us, which is really fun to do, you know? So just to give you an example, if you asked me how I was doing, I would say, oh my gosh, have you recently seen season 6, episode 16 of Dawson's Creek, when Joey and Pacey get locked in a Kmart? Sparks are flying, okay? Things are still happening between them, and that's how I would socialize now. But let me take you back to a simpler time, pre-pandemic. Let me set the scene. The year is 2010. I'm 23. The most popular song in America is California Girls by Katy Perry. Do we all remember 2010? What a year. And at this point in time, I'm 23, and all my knowledge of hard drugs, and I would say the hardest drug I was aware of at this point was cocaine. And here's what I knew about cocaine, mostly based on watching 20 minutes of Scarface on TNT. But let's see, what do I think of when I think of cocaine at 23 years old? I think of wealth. I think of white suits, silky materials, Black American Express cards, $100 bills. This is what I think of when I think of cocaine. So naturally, at 23, at a party, when someone asks me if I want to try it, I am honored. I'm absolutely honored. But I've never done it, so I really need to think about, is this something that I want to do? So let's think about where I'm at. So as we know, I know about, my knowledge of cocaine representation is from Scarface. Has anyone seen Scarface? Okay, yeah. If there's straight men in this room, I assume if Scarface is one of your favorite movies, then Taxi Driver is your second favorite. And you would probably yell at me because I've never seen Boondock Saints. I've met many of your kind in college. Okay, so cocaine representation. So I'm thinking, if I do cocaine, will this lead me to a wealthy, exciting lifestyle? And what is wealth to me at this point? And maybe even now at 34, a washer dryer, a small backyard space in Brooklyn, maybe about this size. How about paneling for the refrigerator? This room knows what I'm talking about. There's like a weird thing I think I've noticed at people's houses, people I consider wealthy, where their paneling for the fridge matches the cabinets. So I'm assuming something with wealth, we shouldn't know that you eat, I'm not sure, but that is wealth to me. That is wealth at this point. So I think cocaine can lead to paneling on a fridge. But where am I mentally at 23? Let's see, I'm not on Lexapro yet for my one-day diagnosed anxiety disorder. Lexapro, who else? 10 milligrams, thank you very much. 10 milligrams, I see you. So yes, I'm not diagnosed yet with an anxiety disorder. Recently at 23, I, at the gynecologist, had a panic attack at the site of a speculum. Do we know what a speculum is? Ladies, men, I hope you do. And this is where I am mentally. So really what I'm realizing is I am cocaine, naturally. Anxiety is nature's cocaine. You can quote me on that. And so, and I realized, you know what, I don't need cocaine. I don't need it. I don't need to dial this up. So when I'm asked at the party by my friend's drug dealer, who kind of looks like one day maybe he'll go to prison for insider trading, or we know how it works, he won't go to prison for insider trading. I say no thank you to the cocaine. And then he very politely asks, okay, cool, is it okay if we do it in here? What a gentleman. There are still gentlemen alive in this country asking if they can do drugs in front of you. And I think this is great. I think this is chivalrous. And also, though I don't want to do the cocaine, I want to be in the presence of it in hopes that it will lead me down this exciting path towards a refrigerator with paneling. So I say, yes, you can do cocaine in front of me. So here I am in a bedroom with my friend and her drug dealer. I have some popcorn. And I'm really about to get the Scarface experience live. And so somebody is about to, I think it's called doing a line, but all the things that I thought were going to be part of this are not there, and it's very quickly seeming not glamorous. For example, there is no Black American Express card. I don't know if anyone here knows what I'm talking about. I worked as a cheesemonger and I held a Black American Express card once. It's metal. You can't bend it, and I know there's a really high interest rate to get this card. So that's why I mentioned a Black American Express card. So no, this stockbroker is not cutting his cocaine with a Black American Express card. What he does have is a Metro card. There is no $100 bill, there's a dollar bill. Oh, and also I was imagining a silver tray. There is no silver tray, but he does use a paperback edition of David Sedaris' Naked. Are we familiar? Like, at least go with a hardcover. Really? Are you doing lines on a soft book? And then I think what really turns me off to the situation is when I learn one day is called a Coke booger. I think we know what that means. Coke, a booger. And there are no Coke boogers in Scarface. And so I start very quickly getting very uncomfortable because this is all very depressing. And I've eaten all of my popcorn, so it's time for me to get out of there. So I leave. I excuse myself politely. I'm into the living room, and I'm looking for my next fix. And when I say fix, I mean snack, because I can't leave the party until my friend that I came with gets the phone number of a gentleman that she is trying to court. And I'm a good friend, so I am trying to kill time, but I don't want to go back into the cocaine room with the Metro card. And so I'm looking around for snacks. And we're at the hour of the party, if we remember, college party, where there are no more mixers, there are no more cups, there are no more snacks. So it's like people drinking Jameson out of mugs, people putting their cigarettes out in the couch. That, you know, it's that time of night. And so but fortunately, I spot something in the distance on the dining room table. It's a bakery box. I think we all know what I'm talking about. It's white. It's got a piece of tape, and that does intimidate me because that means I'm going to be the one that opens the bakery box. But I have nothing else to do. I don't want to make small talk with anyone. I don't want to do cocaine. So I make my way over to the beautiful white bakery box that's calling my name. I gently take off the Scotch tape, and inside is a cake that looks like it's been made just for me. It's like, you know, small, circular. It's got little flowers on it. And, you know, people are putting cigarettes out on the couch. So to me, this says, I can do whatever I want at this point. And for whatever reason, I'm uncomfortable with the thought of rummaging through my acquaintance/friend's kitchen for cutlery. So I do the next polite, logical thing, and that is I just go fucking in there with my hands into this cake. There's frosting, there's jelly on the inside. It's an absolute massacre. My hands are covered in a red jelly. And so nobody cares because, as I told you, it's mugs, Jameson mugs o'clock. Nobody gives a shit. And so my friend secures the phone number of the guy that she likes. And so no napkins, no problem. I wipe my frosting-covered hand on the wall, leaving behind a frightening jelly and frosting handprint, and now I just imagine what a great calling card that would be if I were like a jewel thief, you know, and like a detective showed up and like bent down and saw the frosting and then like, you know, put it in his mouth and he was like, frosting, that's Flores. So I left, and then like 2 weeks went by, and I ended up hanging out with this friend who had the party, and I decided to come clean to her about what I had done, and I said, it was me, I'm Frosting Hand, I left the mess. And she kind of got this look, like jaw drop, and I couldn't tell, was it horror, was it amusement? And she says, oh, that was you. You ate Zach and Tina's wedding cake. Okay, let's back up for a second. Now, as I mentioned before, I am engaged. So, you know, I am starting to learn about the traditions that come with marriage. And so I have learned that some people do save the top of their wedding cake after they get married. And so sometimes you get married, you have an anniversary, and you're like, let me take this cake out of the fridge, let me go for a nice dinner. And then think, you know what, let me go to my friend's party. Let's go to this college party. We're still fun, even though we're married. And then decide, let me leave this cake unattended at a party. Like, really, what are you thinking? And then sometimes a young, beautiful woman with crippling anxiety and a sweet tooth eats your wedding cake and shits it out. Okay, that was me. I ate someone's wedding cake. Have you ever eaten someone's memories? It is, at the time, at 23, I was crying because I was like, I can't believe I did this. In retrospect, I'm 34 now, an engaged woman, again, third time I've mentioned it, thank you very much. I would never leave my wedding cake unattended at a party, and I hope that's a lesson you all learn from this story. Thank you so much.
Anita Flores, everyone. Wow.